Okay, yeah, so first I want to say I actually have a drawing now on my painting, on my canvas, that I'm gonna start the painting. It's just a big giant flower. I just, every time I kept looking over at it, I kept seeing this thing on it. So finally I got up and just started tracing what I saw. And so I'm gonna do a big giant flower on that thing. And I was watching that HOA, no, the OA, and on Netflix. I really liked it. And I can see why they stopped it. There's way too much truth about consciousness in that, and the mad scientists and all that stuff. And it's just too much that they want to hold back from you. Because seriously, once you realize that you're eternal, you realize, like, it's a whole nother level. And that's why they want to keep people restricted, thinking you're just flesh and blood. You can be killed. It's like, I can't. So, but I kept sitting there drawing, sketching the faces. And I always tend to keep going back to the same face over and over and over and over. And I don't know, that's the whole thing. But I feel so weird today, man. I feel weird. And I was looking at I only saw a couple TikToks again this morning. I've barely seen any, and it seems like every time I go on, it's just Ohio, 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 Ohio. It's just, and there's so much, man, there's so much more corrupt shit. Why that area? You know, when people start pulling out, you know what was going on here? You know, it's like Cincinnati or Cleveland. You see, Cincinnati's in Cleveland, right? Cleveland, Ohio. No, it's Cleveland, Ohio. So is it Cleveland they were saying, or was it Cincinnati? Now I can't remember. Is that they have opted in to be the first 15-minute city. These motherfuckers. So we're gonna just conveniently have a little disaster here real quick. Don't mind us. I'm just gonna try and move y'all into a safe zone. It's like, fuck you, your safe zone. Fuck off. I saw this woman, though, in the midst of all of those videos of the nonstop Ohio, like horrible shit, man. I just saw a video, and I don't know where this one was. And a lot of people were asking in the comments, but it was somebody, it looked like, to me, like it would be like Afghanistan or something. It was very deserty, and he was riding a quick little motorcycle. And even the animals, they look like not ones we have here. And they were all dead. He's just driving and driving and driving and driving, and not just like one or two. No, it was like a fucking ginormous herd just suddenly dropped dead. Like ginormous amount of, oh my God. And there's more stuff coming out about the chemical comprehension, like what I've been talking about. It's not just about the one. No, they use them to layer on top of each other, and they build off of what's already inside of us, and they strike certain fucking DNA patterns and proteins and stuff that are carried by certain DNA. Like this place is troublesome. It's very troublesome. So anyways, let me think what I was gonna say about that, because because all of these people now that they're saying that the one thing mixed with this other makes, one of them is Agent Orange. I'm sure we're not gonna be able to keep talking about that. And another is another gas that was used in the first one that we know of. I mean, that's all these people have done is, I mean, for them to even teach us in history, oh, there's World War I, there's World War. No, y'all have been doing this to us the whole fucking time, chasing us around this motherfucking globe. Every time we try to escape, y'all are right there, fucking overtaking the world like motherfuckers. And so now I got lost again. Try and pretend like I didn't, but I did. Let's see. So now, so in Ohio, you know, you've got an assortment of things, but it's affecting now all the way, like Alabama. There's people having issues, like there's water problems. This was really sad. This one girl, she's like 30 miles from the epicenter. Her family's 30 miles from the epicenter. She's 45 miles from the epicenter. Her brother, she's a young mom, so she's got two little toddlers. And she said that it was like a 2 and a 3-year-old or something. She said they've been complaining about having a headache ever since. She said, what babies complain about having headaches? And she said they never had said that before. And now they keep telling her their head hurts. And the brother who was outside, he was working construction or working outside during all of that whole episode when they did the spill. Then they didn't say, then they were burning stuff, then they did. And from hearing what these welders are saying, there is no way that any of those things would have opened up without them being opened up intentionally. Like everything. And there's a whole thing about that they didn't know what was being transported. They were lying about, like, there's so much stuff coming to the surface. Like all of these things that are bringing so much corruption to into our viewfinder, you know, because it's all been on the outside of where they've allowed us to see. And now it's all going to come together, and it's, you know, some fucking bullshit, man. They haven't cared about people ever. Other than what we give them. That's the only value we have to them is, you know, how much we work so they can buy islands and kids and shit. So let me think back where I was. So he was outside and for days, even when they were burning it and stuff. And so now she said it's been like a week, less than 2 weeks. And he is like a lot of people are having serious respiratory things. His lips have swelled up really huge. And he is, oh my gosh, she was saying some of his symptoms. It was like, oh my God, this is so fucked, man. That's fucked what people are going to go through. And it's going to be fast. Just like the stories that they told us. For those ones I was talking about yesterday, the H and stuff like that. Oh, man, it's going to be gruesome, man. This stuff is eating people up. And it's so sickening, man. It's fucked up. And then her stomach will not stop growing. She wouldn't even eat yesterday. She goes over and smells it and just keeps being grossed out. I keep trying more things, putting more things on it, and she just gets more and more grossed out. It's like, dude, I'm running out of options. Come on, fuck. And then by the time she actually starts eating it, then she always chows it down. But it's like, I don't know. Is there something interfering with her sense of smell or something? Yeah, it seems like, you know, I don't know all the interferences from all these chemicals. I know that we've been, where I'm at, have been under this assault for a while. And now you have, I mean, there's a lot of people saying the whole entire East Coast needs to evacuate and move out of there. But so I saw this other woman, so I'm looking at all these things, and it's just like, oh my God, you just start feeling beat down. Like, I can't keep looking at this stuff, man. You want to go over and save everybody and rescue them, and you know that the only person who can rescue them is them. And you know that some people came in to go through some fucking shit, man. I wish I could get people to understand. It's not life doing this to you, it's you. God, you and your ego comes up with this like ultimate plan. Oh, I'm going to do this and this. I can handle it. No, you can't. No, you can't. You don't even remember who the hell you are. Get down here and you just start panicking, like, what? And start freaking the fuck out. And life's out to get you. You know, and people go fucking dark, man. What was that I just saw yesterday, too, about something? Oh, yeah, this woman. She went to this church, and she's religious. And she went to this church. And she said this lady all of a sudden fell down or bent over on the seats and started having a seizure. And so everybody starts grabbing her and laying hands on her and praying and doing this, like the whole church erupts into this giant prayer thing and chanting and stuff. And I don't know what happened. I don't know. She suddenly came out, but it was very chaotic and crowded. The woman said, like, you would have to have been there to be able to see and to witnessed it. She said it was like fucking insane. But while they're doing this, all of a sudden you hear this horrible scream. And she was saying it was the demon leading, because they kept saying that thing about rebuke you. And see, that's what I keep saying. It's energies and stuff that have a hold of people, and a lot of energies that you've got a hold of you, that it is trauma and stuff from other lives that you haven't faced. And that's what, you know, people got to open themselves up to who they are in order to really be productive in life, to heal those traumas. If you're just sitting there in denial of who you are, you can't heal shit. It's just going to haunt you. It's going to make you sick. You're going to become diseased and everything else. But so this woman who I had seen, she was bawling her head off, and she said that she had a dream, and that she just kept saying, like, everybody, you got to get right by God. You got to get right. Like, a lot of these people who have these dreams, they go into these, you got to get right by God. You got to get right by God. And I always wonder, like, how far are you from God? Like, why is the panic? Like, I don't feel panicked. Like, I got to get right by God. Like, you know, like, I've seen so many of these videos now with these people panicking. Like, how lost are you? Like, what? Like, this is mental. And, but there are a lot of these people like panicking and crying and stuff like that. So she said, we're about to have a bad earthquake in America, really, really bad. Same as what these other people keep saying, which I think is the one, if it's gonna go like in this bad earthquake, what people have seen and stuff. And she didn't say what she was seeing. She couldn't even fucking stop crying, saying, get right by God, please. You know, she was like, she was really losing it. And you know, I get it. You know, people are panicking, especially when they are in fear of a vengeful God. It's like, that is another thing. Step out of that. Stop worshiping this created egomaniac person that they tell you is in control of this shit. No, that's the Oz. You know, they're the ones behind the curtains. That's just the puppet that they put out there. God's gonna put his wrath on you. God's putting his wrath on earth. Lying motherfuckers. You guys are fucking doing this shit. Like, you cause so many chemical things. The earth is finally, I mean, the earth has to. She has to shift. She has to roll over. How the hell can she keep going? They just dig and destroy her. They consume her. So yeah, she has to shift. And those of us who care about her and care about life and care about each other, we'll shift with her. And we'll go into this world where she's appreciated and we appreciate each other and we live in harmony with the world, not trying to consume and what is that called? Like, overtake it. You know, that's what this whole thing is always about. You know, they're just always overtaking us. But so to me, like I kept saying, like, all of this stuff, like, it has been raining nonstop here, and then they'll come in with these big wind gusts and the trees will be gone. Oh my gosh, the sound with the wind and the rain and stuff, it's intense, and it just goes and goes. My driveway keeps filling up with water like it did when it went out across the roadways and washed out the roads. So I don't know how the rivers are doing or whatever. I mean, it's nothing to them to just reflood the same areas over and over. But I think a big part of what they're doing is destabilizing our ground. It's way too wet. Like, I swear to God, my house is sinking. And my front porch is going to fall off. Every time I go in the bathroom, I feel like the bathroom is sinking down. Like, the ground is way too wet. And our ground is kind of like, you know, it's like salt. Like, you know, like the bottom of a creek bed, that really fine, like salty kind of ground. And then tons and tons of rocks. That's what ours is. So it's like there's lots of rocks, but there's, like, I don't know, with all of the shifting and stuff, because supposedly the earthquake is going to go somewhere through Washington State, this really big one. Or is it whatever that one girl was talking about, where she got out the globe thing and she was showing on it where it was going to split, because she was like, America is going to split just like how Africa is splitting. And there's more people talking about that now. But so to me, it seems like, I mean, we're in it now. I mean, it's going, like, we're in it. And again today, supposedly, I mean, Joe took a big stance this way. Joe. I'm always trying to figure out, like, like, you know, how tall is that guy? Like, how tall, you know, I'm always like watching the gait and stuff like that, the expressions, the tone of the voice and stuff. I'm always trying to figure out who's in there. Like, who are you in there? I really am hoping for that Scooby-Doo kind of, oh, it was me all along. I love that. I swear it never got old. So anyways, he's taken a big stand, you know, and gone over there. And then Putin, I don't know if it was his announcement yesterday, because it was supposed to be 221, and I don't know when it became 221 there. But I saw him speaking yesterday. But he's definitely going to, you know, it's them and China against us and the Ukraine, I guess. Like, you know, it's the illegal, the corruption against freedom, basically. And, you know, I don't know what the deal is. You know, I don't know all the role that China is playing in all this. Like, I know for sure with Putin, like his is the same as how Trump's is, to shine light on the corruption inside the government and what's going on in the world. It's not just the government. I mean, they've gone in cahoots with the corporations. So, I mean, the corporations have no feeling towards us. And these people, you know, like the whole thing, I keep saying, it's their own perversion and weird shit that got them into the mess, that got us all into this mess. But it wasn't just their perversion, because so many people played along. Like, how many fucking people right now that are into that whole thing? Like, you know, I mean, that's the whole thing, even with fucking Tinder. Like, all of a sudden that just clicked with me yesterday. I was sitting there thinking about a sex addiction, and, you know, it's that charge to the, you know, the reeling something in. That's what it's all about. You know, you hooked something. And so that gives us that thrill, that excitement. And so that's what the sex addiction is about. You know, it's not, you know, like I just got to do it all the time. It's this, the thrill of the catch. And, you know, and some people, they get very triggered like that. Same with the gambling. All these different addictions, and they strike some kind of a chemical inside of you that is like, ooh, I want to feel that again. Oh, that's nice. I want to do that again. And so then you keep looking for it. The thing is at some point you start chasing it, because it gets further away and it gets harder to get, because like in any kind of high, it loses its initial impact. And so then you're constantly chasing this certain thing and you can't find it. And people get more and more depraved and more. That's what's happened with these people running the world. They've just become diseased and sick, because now, you know, they get off on horrible shit. So, you know, I won't go all over that whole thing again. But to me, so it seems like, I mean, with all of the rain and rain, I know that with all the poison in the trees, I keep looking across the mountain to see, like, is anything turning green over there? Like, I keep trying to think, was it completely brown last year? Like, what the fuck? There's just like these patches of green. It's like, man, and just being in my own yard and seeing like how many trees, like, and they're so thin, and it's like same thing they're doing to our hair. And so then I feel like that, you know, that's part of the big disaster that's going to go on over here is landslide, mudslides, something with a lot of trees coming down from the ocean. We've been, like, today, one winter storm ends. It's up in the mountains. And then this weekend, we have another one. So it's supposed to snow all weekend. And so, you know, they get those up there, get it all wet and stuff. And they target areas, like I keep saying. They know where the wind, like they're looking from above. They know where the wind is traveling. They know how to use this place to their advantage. And that's why that they, you know, can use weather machines and stuff and manipulate the atmosphere. It's because of the, you know, they have a perspective. They can see how, I mean, just looking at the maps and seeing how the places are targeted and stuff. And then to go in and hit Ohio again with that other one, man, it is going to be so fucking nasty with the sicknesses over there. It's going to be fast, too. Like, I heard a lot of people say that one gives you liver cancer real quick. He's like, it's not slow, it's fast. and liver can't. Oh man, it's gonna be it's gonna be painful. I just wish these med beds would hurry up for my own personal, of course, because I really have my own stuff I wanted to heal. But for all these people, like how many people are gonna? So much tragedy, man. It's so painful to go through. But so, you know, we got all this, we've got a total disaster going on the East Coast. We've got fucking subs and all sorts of ships, all sorts of shit all parked out around us. I saw this guy the other day at Huntington Beach, and his was live, and he was showing all those stuff out in the water. And I was like, I don't know, is he showing ships? Or is he just, you know, I'm not sure. But there was a lot, and I don't know, maybe there's just that many people that just park off the bay or something off of the shore and park out there. I don't know. It's strange looking. There's a lot. And then, you know, I mean, and then that's being obvious. Like, that's to wake people up too. Like, so all of the different stuff is to wake people up, you know. Just like I saw an article of all these movie stars selling their houses in LA. And so then the article is saying that because of Newsom's stringent control and the taxes that they're doing to these people who make a lot of money, that there's been this huge mass exodus from there. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of things, but when that stuff comes up in the news, that's to get people to question things, to look at things and be like, yeah, man, he does like fuck us on the tap, you know? And then be like, yeah, is this the place we want to, you know, like just questioning their own lives. That's what it's all about. And so to me, like we've got the disaster going over here. It's going all the way over, like it's going from Mississippi over. We already know that on the doomsday map, that whole area is going to shift. There's going to be a huge shift that's going to happen, probably from what's going to happen on the West Coast. But I think there's going to be this reverberation. I mean, we've already got Turkey having another one. Ooh, which there's a couple of things I gotta say. So I just saw a video today, of somebody doing a turkey one of all these people who have been rescued, just like what I said I think I said it like 4 days ago or something, when I was talking about my friend who had gotten that wreck and was in the water for a week, and she said that there was constantly somebody there taking care of her and talking to her. She was never alone. That is what all these people are saying. Little kids. There was one, they got all the rubble off, and this little boy's just laying there sleeping in his bed. He's like 5 years old, and they're like waking him up. And they're like, do you need water? Do you need anything? Because no, my sister was here where she was giving me food and water the whole time. It's gonna make me cry. That is what I have said all along. Like, you sit there and get all caught up in like other people's trauma, and it really is. I mean, people are being blessed. There's like really cool things happening. It's just that we're so caught up in the fear of death and the end and all that stuff, that it's just been so messed within our heads. So it's like we have to reprogram it. You know, we have to see like, okay, this isn't real. But anyway, so there was a whole bunch of those turkey stories where they're finding these people, and the people are saying, no, they were never alone. There was always someone there. We're talking to them, it's gonna make me cry. If people really understood like what this place is, and like really understood that you're never alone, you know, you always have beings around you and beings that love you, and there is so many that are here to redeem things that have happened in their past. You know, people are here playing big parts in this, what's happening, you know, because it is a shift in power. We're taking our power back. And so it's you know, when we've been oppressed like generations and different times and different experiences that people have had. It's been these same repressors, you know. And so it is, you know, it's such a magical time. And I've seen some other people talk about some other magical things, but I thought this was kind of interesting too. So I was excited about the turkey thing. I wanted to share about that because it was funny how I just said that, and then I see that video. That happens all the time. They'll put something in my head, I'll talk about it, and then I get confirmation all the time of things. It's crazy. I'm telling you, when you get in sync with it is like you are constantly in communication. It's really cool. And but so my one daughter had just had the new baby, and he's doing good. He's doing good. He's really tiny. He was only 5 pounds something because he's a month early, but so he would have been huge. Like I was like, man, that's kind of lucky. So anyways, he's doing good, but she's looking at the pictures of, because it's the same thing with her. She's white and he's Mexican. It's both those daughters. And so comparing baby pictures, with the baby and seeing which they look, because my daughter is light and he's darker. And so then she would just had these two, one of him and one of her. And so she had said, she sent me something. Anyways, I got the whole conversation about the pictures. So I said, well, I'll go out and I'll find some baby pictures and stuff, and I'll send them to you. I'll bring them when I come because I'm going in a couple weeks. So I said, I'll bring them when I come. I'll bring a bunch of pictures for you. And so I went out and started looking. The weather's so shitty, and I got a whole, that building. Anyways, it was like, oh man, I gotta go out and climb up, and so cold, and I've got this mess of this bed stacked there. So anyways, everybody knows how that is. So got to do some work to get to these pictures. But so there was one box, or there was a couple boxes, but I grabbed this one. I was looking through them, and I found all these pictures of the girls when they were teenagers, and I sent them to them. And it was funny because when my daughter was doing those TikToks, those videos of me that, ended up, nobody wants to sit and talk to everybody about their mom all day. But when she had wanted all these older pictures of me, because all these people were like, well, show us more pictures of her and all this stuff. So she'd made these little montage things. And so I had to go out and get all these pictures. And I was just like, oh my God, it's so funny when you go back and you look at pictures of yourself as a teenager, and you're just like, oh my God, why was I so hard on myself? Like, I wasn't hideous or something, and I just felt like I was the most hideous monster in the world. Like, and you just like, you start looking at it and just kind of melt your heart. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I was so mean to her. Like, why couldn't I just see, like, she's pretty, she's, like, you just see the good parts of you instead of just seeing all the parts that you hate about yourself. It's weird. It's all about perspective. It's all about looking back. It gives you so much more insight, so much more to see. And so I just thought that was fascinating, how I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know, just like you just bring up this love for your younger self and this appreciation, and then to really, acknowledge how mean you were to her. So anyways, I sent those pictures to my daughters so that they could, I just was like, again, like, they probably have the same thing, look back and go like, oh my gosh, can't believe I thought I was fat, and they're like skinny as can be. But, teenage girls it's like, I would take them shopping. So I had a different perspective. Oh my God, I'm hideous. I cannot wear this. Take me home. I can't wear this. I'm so gross. It's like, oh my God. I was I have 4 girls, a lot of fucking shopping trips like that. So anyways, I thought that they would get a kick out of that. But the weird thing is so then I went on to last night after the OA ended, I went on there to look and see like what's going on, is there, because there's more crises happening every fucking minute. And there's this new filter that everybody is using, and it's even irritating people, where people are going in and complaining and saying, will you please stop? I'm sick of seeing this. Like, who cares? And all these people, especially, it seems, I think it's young people too. But it shows you what you look like was a teenager, and then it shows you what you look like now. And so somebody had done it, and it was dramatic. But then he is like, but this is making me look older or weirder than I look. So I don't know. And so I did the little thing. I went and just looked to see if it looked like me as a teenager, because I know what I look like as a teenager because I was just looking at pictures last year. And I was like, that doesn't look like me as a teenager at all. It just looks like, you know, somebody just took all of the lines and tightened everything on my face back to when you're young. Doesn't look like me. And then on the one of me now, it like ages you. It makes you look like you're 10 or 15 years older. So the young people who are doing it, they think, oh, this is what I'm going to look like when I get older. And it doesn't age them as much. There's barely any difference of how they look as themselves now and then how they're supposed to look when they get older, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's very strange. That I don't know about that. Like, when you're young and you go in and do it, it doesn't make you go back and look like a little kid. So I don't know. Maybe it takes them and they just kind of look like they do now. And I have no idea. But I did see a bunch of people where it was like very young, but their pictures look so similar. But the ones that were older, that they look super dramatic. But there is all these people are like, I saw this one lady and she goes, in her little thing, you know, she had both. And she's like, man, I can't believe how mean I was to myself when I was younger. I was like, yeah. It's so crazy because I had just had that experience and then all of a sudden it's like everybody's having it. But I kept saying that, like I just keep noticing this stuff and noticing it. It is weird. Like I can start saying some word and just keep saying that word all the time. And all of a sudden it's like everybody's saying that word. And, you know, it's just like you keep looking at something, keep noticing something. Then pretty soon everybody else is noticing. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how it all, you know, works. If it's, you know, I don't know. I don't know about some of this stuff. I see somebody, you know, then I'll see some video because I know it's going to be other people having this experience because they'll see some video and then they'll say that there's like there's only certain players in the game. And then they start realizing that they have that control. They start realizing it's like, that kind of even gets creepier. Like, I don't know. You start feeling like, oh, so all these people I'm interacting with, they aren't even real. I'm just here in this game all by myself, and they're just they're the ripple of what I think and say, which is truly what life is all about, really, because you are projecting what you view, what you think of the world, what you think of yourself is projected out of you so you can see, so that you can experience it. And so it really is like everything is a projection of you. If you feel like shit about yourself, you don't like yourself, you're down on yourself, then your life will show that. If you love yourself and you build yourself up, you talk nice to yourself, then you're going to show that. You know, it's basic and simple on that kind of part. And then let me see, because there was something else that was oh yeah, because I didn't ever say so about the storm thing. So like I had said like last week or something, I think, because they're getting everything so wet. And then it could be a volcano. And, I mean, they've got all this stuff going everywhere. And then something is going to interfere with those plates in California. And then it's going to start some sort of a thing. You know, if it will be, and who knows how fast it's going to go. Is it going to be like a one-day thing? Is it going to be an hour? Is it going to be over a couple of weeks once it starts and everything starts becoming unstable and shifting? And, you know, is there going to be lots of crashes and stuff? And then is it going to slowly start opening up? I don't know, but I think that is what's going to go down over here. There's going to be some sort of like tsunami or water event. They're going to also keep in these chemicals and this the frequency and stuff is being used with the chemicals. Like it all goes together. And then with the water, there's going to be some water events for sure. There's been way too many of those prophetic dreams. There was nobody who was having, there was like a ton of prophetic dreams about New York being underwater. Did we shift out of that timeline? Doesn't seem like it. It seems like, no, it's going to go down. Yesterday, I saw so much live footage, and there was so many people. There's so many parades And I kept being like, man, what is this? Is this like carnival? And then there was one, and it seemed like it was like in the Netherlands. And then there is Mardi Gras going on, I guess, because there's like all these people down there doing, and it was saying Mardi Gras. And then, so, because this is all, I guess, I thought it was the beginning of March was Mardi Gras, but I don't know. I'm not an expert. But anyways, there's like the live footage of Mardi Gras and stuff. And then just this person just like showing people out there and partying and stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, this is the epitome of idiocracy. You sit here and look like you're looking into this other world. Got this. It's live. You're looking through this portal into this other world that is happening right now. And, you know, just what I was seeing was just like, oh my God. I was like, I wouldn't have surprised me if it just fucking all of a sudden crashed and went underwater right then. And it's not because it's the wrath of God. It's the energy. It's the energy that these people keep putting out. The planet is not going to continue this energy like this. This like endless party. Like, just give me something to have fun. Give me. It's like the world can't keep going like that. And then you just see all these people just out there, you know, adults acting like children, and they're all overweight and all just got a drink in their hand and necklaces doing, you know, just drunken dance behavior and shaking. Oh, man. It's like, oh my God, what is our society is just become so, I don't know, morally destitute. It's just like they don't give a fuck. Just whatever makes me feel good right here, right now. And that's what I was saying about the Tinder thing, you know, like that feeds into that addiction. I mean, the whole thing about swipe, oh, I got a hit, you know? And these people run out thinking, you know, like they're going to get something, it's going to feel good. If it feels so good, then why doesn't it last? Why are you always chasing another one, you know? I mean, there's people who will go with several swipe rights a day. Like, they don't just stop with one. Oh, I gotta swipe right. You know, no. People just become obsessed. I mean, people will become bored and they'll just sit all night in their room by themselves. I've seen girls talk about it. All night, just swipe, looking for contact, looking for somebody to be attracted, looking, you know, just looking for something. And everybody just thinks like, oh, they're going to find it here. It's like, you're not going to find what you're looking for. You got to get out and live your life. If you want to go out and you want to meet people to be involved with, then you got to figure out who you are. You know, what is it you're interested in? What kind of people do you want to hang out with? You know, start going and doing the things that interest you, and it will naturally draw you towards the people that have the same interest as you. And it's, you know, it's like a vibration. It's like a magnetic pull. But so many people are not defined in themselves or know who they are or what they like. You know, they know, like, oh, the goal, I want to make $16 an hour instead of 12, you know, like, big goals here, big goals, you know, and instead of, like, figuring out who they are, you know, what they are, and that is where you're going to find so much more value. And when you learn who you are and you begin to respect yourself, you're sure the hell not going to go swiping right and giving it away for free. Like, oh, here, anybody? Any takers here? Just looking for some takers. Like, no. You're going to have respect for yourself. And there's more stuff that I have seen, too, about, like, that drawing where I said it was this uterus with this baby inside, and it had the ovaries. It came out, went down to the birth canal where the baby came out, and that was the ankh. It shows the diagram of the two things, and about the respect from the life and being birthed into this experience and stuff. And there's the whole thing about, you know, the hidden truth and stuff like that. And so I don't know how it's all gonna go together, like what's all gonna come out and stuff, but that the way that the life, the form, and then coming in the way it like looks like a brain or something, like, I don't know, it was a really cool drawing, but the way it was representing about life and stuff. I just feel like the people are just not seeing things at all the way that they are. They're so misled. And there was something else I was going to say about that. I swear there was something else I was going to say about that baby thing yesterday. I said this, I was talking to one of my daughters, and I don't remember if I was the one who has the baby that's like 3 months old now. And I was saying something. She goes, "Oh, you should have another baby or something." Something like that, you know. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, well, I guess I can now. Like, if they're going to be doing implanted wombs in men, I mean, I can go back and get another one, I guess." Like, so it was really good because I got to make it, because, yeah, she's all in on that trans train. So I got an opportunity to say that. So that's one of those little seeds, like, yeah, think about that. And there was something else. And that's the distortion, too. The distortion of life. Oh, yeah, because about the birth, about the feminine, and about the energy, and the respect to life, and understanding, and the respect towards sex as being a sacred thing for the creation of life, where, you know, then the religious people take that to an extreme. But, you know, having the respect, so you're just not going out and giving away, you know, to any old person, and to respect yourself. Well, when you get to that point of respecting yourself and realizing, like, life is created from not only just this act, like, you shouldn't be just doing it with a willy-nilly any old person. It is a sacred act. And you know what's so funny too, and I've said this before, but when, you know, when I learned this, especially, you know, being celibate for, like, I think it's 6 years now, but you can sometimes have a better orgasm by yourself, because you're just focused on you. You're not concerned about what's going on with you. How you feeling? No, you're just focused on you. And so you can have, like, way better. So I don't, you know, there's no reason to be running around and trying to do it with people. Like, you're not, I don't know. I think there's more to that thing. Like, there's more of this, you know, they can't enjoy it unless they're giving it to someone else. They can't, they feel shame. Like, there's something else going on. I'm not sure what it is. But, you know, people feel weird to be by themselves or something. I don't know. But I think it is, I think there's great value in it. And I think people should definitely, if you can't appreciate your own self and know your own self, you sure the hell shouldn't be out doing it with somebody else. So I think that that is something that, as kids are getting older, that they need to recognize and see. Like, we wouldn't have so many fucking teenagers pregnant if they had respect for it. They've got to have respect for it from adults that have respect for it. And there's no adult, like, go and look. And then you just got a bunch of hypocrites. Oh, don't do it. No, I'm going to go do it, but don't you do it. You're not old enough. Well, and then we got that whole thing with age coming up. Like, oh, so you can't drink, you can't go in the service, you can't buy alcohol, you can't buy weed, you can't drive without a license, but you can go down and get your dick chopped off. Yeah, go do that. 9 years old, hell yeah. Okay. So, just the ridiculousness of all of this absurdity. And, you know, so much, I mean, all of this stuff just keeps coming up. Yesterday I saw a girl, and she always does her thing. What's going on? And yesterday she was going through this whole long list. I was just cracking up, because it is so absurd. It's so ridiculous how much bullshit is going on. And like I said, people get so serious about it. And I know that it is all just to get them to be outraged and to get them to wake up, to see. And, you know, I still don't know how far it's going to go. I mean, there's obviously a lot of people are going to die, but I've known that the whole time. I think it's going to be like the bad thing is coming. I mean, I think the bad thing is real close. And if it is an earthquake, like, you know, I hope it goes faster than just like, I mean, I hope that it starts out and then it gives people a lot of evacuation, but I don't. I think a lot of people, I think this is what is going to be, like, a lot of people are leaving because, like I've said, they're going back to where they are from. I mean, it's going to seem horrible and tragic to all of us, but it's not going to be, for them. They're going to go back, reunion with other souls. And, I mean, this place is pretty stressful. It's very hard work. So it's going to, I think, feel like a relief to a lot of people to be the hell out of here. But then there's going to be like people left behind. They're going to feel the pain from it and the pain from seeing it all and all that. But they're here to play a different part. They're here to experience something different. And so, that's the experience you got to focus on, what you're here to experience. And, I'll let go of what other people are here to experience, because it's a whole, it's an assortment, that's for sure. And, but if they do start evacuating it, it's still, they're trying to herd everybody into this middle part. That's where Gates owns everything too. And they're going to do everything, I don't know. I think, I just don't know how far this is all going to go. If it does start being like these disasters are going and people start panicking and they start getting herded into these certain areas, like I wonder if you did fly over some of these places, if you would see huge camps set up already, because a lot of the places that they're going to move us is the flyover zone, the places that people don't drive through because it's just a long empty space. So most people just zip over it instead. And so, and there's so much cloud and coverage, like there wouldn't be a lot of people being able to see it. Like there would probably be some pilots. I just saw footage of a guy on the airplane, and he went up to the pilots at the front of the plane and he asked him, how long have you been a pilot? And the guys were like, the one said like 28 years or something. He goes, okay, so is the earth flat? And the guy started laughing. He goes, yeah. He goes, do you tell people? And he goes, yeah, but not everybody listens. But, and I mean, the reason I'm laughing about it is because I still have people come in and like just the other day, I was saying something. It wasn't even about that. It was something about something else. And this person comes in, oh, I guess you think the earth's flat too. It's like, you don't? Oh my God, did you ride the short bus? Like, what the hell's going on with you, person? Like, the people who are being ignorant, they're going to be embarrassed. Like, there's nothing for us crazy people to be embarrassed about anymore. It's all going to flip back on them, and they're going to see, and they're going to be embarrassed. Like, you're going in and attacking people and telling them that we're out on a ball spinning in space, and it's like, that's not the truth. And it's just like it's being exposed all around you. There's a whole big old thing now with the CIA, more things being released, more disclosure coming out all the time, more about all of the things, more about our consciousness, more about the stuff they do to us. More things about like what I was saying. Because it's okay. So when they very first started choosing, like, okay, well, we can test on these ones. Nobody cares about them. Here, we're going to have this hospital, the rejects. Here, send us your rejects. Nobody cares about them. And so these mad scientists that don't care about anything, they're like, perfect. Perfect. Let's use them. Nobody cares about them. They've already got problems anyways. They don't matter. So, start testing on them, do it in the asylums, let's get them all in the asylums, the rejects, so then test on them. Then in the prison, let's get them in the prisons. And do they target certain ones to have them in there to complete certain tests? I would say probably. And then, when they say that most of the prisons are filled with dark people, I would say it's probably for a purpose more than just destroying their family structure, their community structure, all of that. Like everything is so much more. It's like they do something and it destroys this and this, and then it's like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. What else can we destroy? Let's destroy all their lives, and destroy their self-esteem. Let's make them all just hopeless and helpless. I just saw this guy who was, and I have seen his videos before, and he's kind of harsh, and I think I might share this one because I really thought it was cool how he explained it about men and the testosterone and about what's going on and stuff, because it is like during a time of weakness, then men become weak. And now we're moving into this time that's going to stress men. It's going to push them to have to stand up. And it's the same thing as when we see these women shifting from their masculine, where they've all had to protect themselves. They're out there raging, ready to fucking kick some ass, man. Fuck up. Fuck everybody. Except the government. Come and give me my rights. Like, that's mental. So, you got that, and then you got all these men who are just like, pussyfooting around, and there's all this division. So all these men who are not in their true masculine, they're not truly empowered, they don't feel good about themselves, they're beat down. And then you have these women who are on this other thing. So like all of this balance has to happen in our society, and each person has to do it for themselves. But as each person does it, it goes out and ripples in to make everything else go into balance with everybody. And so men are going into this more challenging of, coming into who they are and accepting who they are, and to realize, what it means to be masculine and stuff. And it doesn't just have to do with the hormones and stuff, because, you have to think about how many, that's a big issue right now. How many women are born that feel like men and act like men, and all they got is women hormones. So it doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with connecting to yourself and figuring out who you are. And they've distorted so much about what it means to be a man or a woman. And they've created so much chaos and not given us healthy boundaries and stuff. And so it's a lot of confusion. But we have the templates inside. We have all of the instruction book inside of us. And, and the more you tune into yourself and tap into yourself and face yourself, the more you heal and become your pure self. And so in that, you'll naturally start finding balance. You heal things that you felt like you needed to protect yourself. All of the different wounds and stuff that you heal to find that balance inside of you. And so we have all of these men that are coming into that, like, having to find their masculine side inside of them. And, that's causing all sorts of confusion, because men have been, like women, like there became a dysfunction where men became aggressive and too much into that. And women didn't like it and pushed back, like where men started becoming more, they would have angry outbursts. They haven't been able to learn to manage their emotions, like in a more like mentally conducive to stay in an emotionally stable way, because there's a way to manage your anger, to recognize it, recognize what's going on inside of you, recognize as soon as you're triggered, and then to process and to go through it. Don't react. Don't overreact. That's the thing, is people just are triggered to react and overreact because they're not healed, and they just are like, just quick to fire. And as where everybody's got to go back in and slow down and go in and really recognize it. And that's where we have all these women who have to recognize that you don't have to go out, and they've got to learn to respect life. Like, that is so crazy how that has been such a big thing on through this, women's disrespect for creation, for life, for the role of the feminine. And, they all want to get out there and make it in the world and be the man and all those stuff. It's like, we don't need a world full of men, and we don't need a world full of women. We need a world where people are going to recognize who they are and come balance, and we find balance in society. Like, we've got just extreme everywhere, extreme cases over here, over there, everything. And, but see, everything has got to pull into itself. And that's why I've said, like, it is each independent person's duty. It's them saving themselves. And, not everybody's in a place to do that. And when you stop being able to meet the vibration of the planet as the planet is going, it just becomes too uncomfortable. You got to stay with the game. You got to stay on top of your healing, to stay in motion with the planet as it's healing, and it is, shifting. And then when it shifts, you'll know, like, you're fine. You're not going to, it's not going to kill you. And just like in the OA, you know, as soon as you leave one, it would just go into another. It would be the same thing. You would be in the same place. You would just be in a different reality. You would be living a different reality, whatever that would be. You know, and it's going to be whatever you're in alignment with, whatever you're projecting yourself into. And where people get all like project themselves into fear is because that fear is inside of you. So you're playing it out. You're playing out the scary movies so that you can recognize or see, you know, so you can begin to understand your own power. Like, you don't have to go in and be in a nightmare. This girl I just saw, she was saying something about her ayahuasca experience, and it was scary or whatever. And I said something about, it sounds like, you know, you were having the demons to come out and face the demons to release them out into the ethers. And she did a video because she wanted to make that point, I guess. But it is true, is that, I like what I had said with that one girl who keeps opening, like not healing, it is releasing blocks. These people with the Reiki releasing blocks, and all these people gather around and, yeah, release my blocks. It's like, do you understand when your blocks are released, you're going to be hit hard with facing some shit. Like, releasing your blocks doesn't mean that they're taking your pain away from you and you don't have to go through and heal it. It means that it's going to come to the surface. You're going to be faced with something hard. It's not, you're releasing your blocks is so you can see the truth. And the truth is, you're here to heal. You're not here, it's not, well, the good time comes after. These people that just keep being with the party, they're just showing like that they're disconnected. They're disconnected from themselves. I mean, they're all like at this time in the world, and you're all just standing down there. And I'm telling you, every single one of them, every single person that I saw on this, through that thing, everybody was overweight. Everybody had drinks. I mean, people, grown adults, were acting like children. It was embarrassing. And, you know, that our society is just that, like, just give me a party. Just give me a beer. I'm okay. Everybody can die around me. I don't care. Just give me a party. It's like, oh my God, people. Like, and there is, like, even yesterday, a kind of something, I don't remember what it was, but all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, that's what they did. They got people to worship the weekend, living for the weekend, just make it to the weekend. You know, here, we're going to take away all of their life, just get to the weekend, and then people just overdo it. It's like, well, it's my weekend. Well, it's my vacation. Well, it's my this, it's my that. I work hard. It's like, yeah, but those are all choices. And then you choose to come down here and do something totally dysfunctional and probably get yourself into money problems. I don't know. I mean, for how much shit is going on, like people will go down there and come home with AIDS, come home with the eyes bleeding, like no telling what all. It's just crazy when you just see. It's like a fire around you and you're just sitting there dancing. Like, are you totally cut off from everything? Like, shouldn't there just be some sort of solidarity just right now on the planet? Like, all these people are dying and in crisis and like horrible things are happening. Shouldn't we all just kind of gather maybe in prayer or something? Like, instead of going out to the bars and being out drunk, maybe if we all came together in our homes in the evening and directed prayer and connected our energies into a positive light, we could shift this stuff. But see, how can we, when we have all these people who are like these primitive kind of thinking, where it is just this reactive, like, I just want to feel good, I just want to have a good time, not thinking about like anything further past that. You know, I mean, the one thing that guy said in the video too about the men and the testosterone and stuff, he said that we don't have adults. There's no adult men. That they're all like childish men out there. You know, there's no role models for the ones that are coming up because all of them are just childish. And then you see videos like that, and it's like, yeah, just these men are just like, you know, I mean, there was a difference between my grandpa and my dad. You know, my grandpa would have been, you know, you gather your bricks and get your house built and be prepared, you know, more like that. And my dad would have been more like, hey, let's get a freaking convertible. Let's go out and, you know, we'll worry about where we'll be later. Let's just go have some fun right now, you know. And that is kind of, to me, where it just seems like so many men in society are. It's like, you got to have balance. You got to have that old world, you know, like you gotta have, uh, to me, like the Three Little Pigs is a significant story. Like, if you're just busy out having fun, you're not preparing, and you need to be prepared. Once you're prepared, yeah, go have a good time, go do what you want. Maybe that's what all these people are, a bunch of fucking what are those people? Preppers. Maybe all those people are preppers, and they're all just out celebrating because they're so prepared in life, and they need to go out and celebrate and come together, you know, to show off that they are all in, you know, cahoots together or something. I don't know. I mean, the stuff I've seen, it just look ridiculous shit. And I don't know. I mean, I've said all along, it's each person's thing. Each person has to realize, and it's hard, you know, I mean, we can see, like, there's a lot of people who are just very shallow, very artificial. They don't care about things or people, you know, and some of them will leave, and some will be pushed to try and see if they've got something more inside of there. The whole challenge in this game is to override the system, I think, and to see your truth, not through the eyes of these controllers, but through the eyes of your soul. So anyway, she's on the move. She is not feeling good at all. So I think I finished all the stuff I was going to say. You know, just got to keep being safe and keep working on you and understanding what this is all about. And, you know, and stay strong. And don't be in fear. Like, that's the biggest thing. They want us to be scared. Even with all these chemicals, like, you know, we can't feed into their games. We have to stay strong. And I use these little, you know, mantras all the time, you know, to remind myself it's just a movie. This isn't real. I'm in a game. And just do whatever it takes so that you can keep yourself calm. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.